Kevin Feige has confirmed the MCU will soft reboot after Secret Wars. Not a complete do-over, but a reset where some things stay and others are wiped clean. So I thought, why not get my own pitch for what the next big saga should be after the Multiverse Saga? Before we go, here are some ground rules. I'm sticking with Marvel's release format, with each phase getting around 6 movies and 3 shows, spanning over 3 years. Only certain characters cross over from the old universe, like the Fantastic Four and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I'm going with the knowledge I have as someone who has never read the comics and only knows the characters from the movies, shows, and video games. With that out of the way, here's my vision for this first saga of the rebooted MCU. The next saga would be called the Rebirth Saga. Mutants always existing from the beginning, existing all the way to ancient Egypt, which segues perfectly into the first movie and project of the MCU's Rebirth Saga. Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier is returning to make the X-Men movie. Releasing in 2028, the X-Men finally debut in the MCU. Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, Iceman, and Colossus, led by Professor X, face off against the Brotherhood of Mutants, led by Magneto. In this universe, the X-Men have been active for years, but still live under the scrutiny of the public. Everyone in this movie will be recast. Our first Disney Plus show of the rebooted MCU, Young Avengers Season 1. Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, Speed, Wiccan, and team up under Nick Fury's guidance to stop the mercenary Taskmaster. The real Taskmaster fans have been waiting for. All actors return except for Taskmaster, who's newly cast. Spider-Man Back in Black, releasing in 2028. Tom Holland's Peter Parker is back, with Destin Daniel Cretton returning to direct. Following Brand New Day in Secret Wars, Peter brings the symbiote home from Battleworld. His biggest hunt yet pits him against Kraven the Hunter, and his struggle against the Black Suit pushes him dangerously close to killing Kraven. Gwen Stacy is his girlfriend, Harry Osborn is his best friend, and a post-credit scene teases Eddie Brock bonding with the symbiote. Moving on, we have Doctor Strange Everlasting Nightmare, releasing in 2029. Benedict Cumberbatch returns as Strange, locked in a reality-warping battle with Nightmare. Clea may appear but plays no major role in this saga. The post-credit scene is Strange thinking about starting a team to handle all these supernatural threats. Back to the shows, as Ghost Rider Season 1 releases in 2029. This takes place in year 2 of Johnny Blaze being Ghost Rider. Still resisting Mephisto's control, Blaze is haunted by Blackheart. In the post-credits, Doctor Strange steps out the shadows with an offer. The Savage Hulk in 2029. A younger, newly cast Bruce Banner struggles after the events of Brand New Day. When the Savage Hulk resurfaces, Banner faces the Leader, portrayed by the same actor from the MCU. Moon Knight Season 2, releasing in 2029. Oscar Isaac returns. Bushman serves as the villain, with the tone and pacing improved from Season 1. Post-credits is Mark receiving an invitation to the Sanctum Sanctorum. The Black Panther is releasing in 2030. Shuri and a newly cast T'Challa must unite as co-protectors of Wakanda. Facing political and personal tensions, they take on Killmonger. Ironheart Season 2, releasing in 2030. Riri Williams grapples with her deal with Mephisto, while the Hood becomes her physical adversary. Mid-season, Riri receives the same mysterious invitation as Mark. Post-credits, she arrives to meet Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch. Let's put an end to this, shall we? Strange says. And the final project of Phase 1, Avengers Hydra Reborn, releasing in 2030. Phase 1 ends with a fresh Avengers lineup. Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, who was leading the group as Ant-Man and the Wasp, Sam Wilson's Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Hulk. Their mission is to stop Red Skull and Zemo from global domination. All roles are recast except Sam Wilson and Thor. This is one of the 2 Avengers movies in the saga with just the core team. Moving on to Phase 2, we're starting things off with the West Coast Avengers, releasing in 2031. Yelena and the rest of the new Avengers return, but under the name West Coast Avengers. Taking place in California, they must take down AIM for making this crystal-filled deadly mist. MODOK returns as the main villain, which is nothing like the Quantumania MODOK. A lineup and actors are all the same, but MODOK is recast. Spider-Man Web of Shadows, releasing in 2031. After the removal of the symbiote, fans finally get the long-awaited Spider-Man and Daredevil team up, as they finally take down Kingpin. Wilson Fisk manipulates the newly formed Venom as he promises to give the spider to them. At the end, Venom snaps out of it and helps them take down Fisk for good. Eddie and the symbiote go off together, rethinking their actions. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio return as Daredevil Daredevil and Kingpin. Post-credits show Miles Morales enrolling as one of Peter's classmates. Young Avengers Season 2, 2031. Nick and the Young Avengers put a stop to the returning Kang the Conqueror. Unlike the last saga, Kang will not be billed as the saga's big bad, only to then be replaced right before the Avengers film. Releasing in 2032, X-Men 2. We continue with the X-Men with the newly graduated Kitty Pryde, as they stop Mr. Sinister from taking the crystal that AIM created. It is revealed that Sinister was working for someone, which he says is ancient. Daredevil Born Again Season 3, releasing in 2032. With Wilson Fisk finally out of the picture, Matt finds a new adversary, the Hand. Season 3 serves as a redo of the Defenders show on Netflix, with all the actors and characters returning. Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Denny Rand. Releasing in 2032 is Venom Season 1. Eddie and the symbiote learn how to do this hero stuff in a rated R Disney Plus show. They must take down Carnage from their murdering spree. Post-credits is Venom helping out Doctor Strange, which Strange says, "We could use your help." Fantastic Four First Family, releasing in 2032. All actors and characters return from the first Fantastic Four movie as they get used to their new home. Doctor Doom is the main villain of this movie, but not Robert Downey Jr. Post-credit scene is Charles Xavier warning Reed of an upcoming apocalypse. The Black Panthers 2, releasing in 2033. The Panthers continue with their bonding as they take down Zinzi. It's Zinzi because I don't know anything about Black Panther's rogue gallery. Post-credit scene is Charles and Reed recruiting the Wakandan heroes for help. Something bad is coming. The last movie of Phase 2 is Avengers Return of Ultron, releasing in 2033. Hank and Tony work together, making the greatest AI imaginable. Hank drops out of it, but Tony insists and continues developing the AI. This leads to the birth of Ultron. The team must take down the savage AI and save the world from disaster. Post-credit scene is Reed Richards asking Hank Pym and the team for help. Apocalypse is near. And the final project of Phase 2, Deadpool Season 1, releasing in 2034. Deadpool travels the multiverse in hopes of finding the MCU pre-reboot, which leads Wade to being stuck in a universe controlled by superior Iron Man. Cable eventually finds Deadpool and helps him out. We kick off Phase 3 with the long-awaited Midnight Suns, releasing in 2034. Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Ironheart, and Venom all team up to put an end to Mephisto and his deals. They ultimately do so, but at the cost of Moon Knight's life as he sacrifices himself. They lock up Mephisto in a multi-dimensional prison. Post-credit scene is Blade appearing behind Strange. "Took you long enough," Strange says. Young Avengers is getting a Season 3, releasing in 2034. After Kingpin gets locked up in Web of Shadows, there's an empty spot at the top of the criminal underworld. The Young Avengers must stop Madame Mask from filling that gap before it's too late. Releasing in 2035, Blade finally joins the MCU in a set piece set in early 1900s Japan. Dracula will serve as the main villain, filling a Yakuza full of vampires. Post-credits jump back to present day as Blade and Midnight Suns are talking to Reed Richards, Charles Xavier, Hank Pym, and Janet Van Dyne on a Zoom call. This will be a completely new Blade, not Mahershala Ali, as he's too old to play Blade in a connected universe at this stage. X-Men The New Mutants, releasing in 2036. This movie sees a group of rogue teenage mutants damaging the city with their uncontrolled powers. The US government has seen enough, creating Project Sentinel. The X-Men must put a stop to this project while also protecting the teenagers. Post-credits show Apocalypse rising from his tomb. Deadpool Season 2, releasing in 2036. Deadpool tries contacting Kevin Feige to express his complaints about the reboot. He is met with Mad Jim, who promises to give him what he wants if Wade completes some challenges on his show. Deadpool finds out Mad Jim has no good intentions and puts a stop to him. Wade comes to accept the new timeline. The final Spider-Man movie of this saga, Spider-Man Legacy, releasing in 2036. Taking place a year after Web of Shadows, Miles and Peter work together to take down the newly formed Sinister Six. The lineup will be Dr. Octopus, Mr. Negative, Electro, Vulture, Scorpion, and Rhino. It ends like Spider-Man 2, where Peter takes a break from Spider-Work, while Miles becomes the one and only Spider-Man, which transitions into the last show of the saga, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales Season 1, releasing in 2037. With Peter taking a break, Miles must learn how to be the only Spider-Man. Fresh out of high school, he also has to learn how to become an adult. The villain would be Chameleon, who frames Spider-Man by committing crimes that Miles rushes in to stop. And the final final project of the Rebirth Saga, Avengers Armageddon 2037. Every group of heroes must band together to stop Apocalypse from getting a hold of the crystal and wiping out the entire world. The teams include the Avengers, X-Men, the Fantastic Four, West Coast Avengers, and the Midnight Suns. They succeed in taking down Apocalypse, but they fail to stop the crystal from shattering. The mist spreads, killing almost everyone in the United States, but some of them get back up. But that is the end of my pitch for the first saga of the rebooted MCU post-Secret Wars. The second saga would be called the Inhuman Saga, but that's far too much for this video. There are a lot of people I left out, but I simply just don't match with them. That doesn't mean they'll never appear in future sagas or as minor characters outside the ones I mentioned, but hey, that's just my vision for it. Who knows what we'll actually get, right?